The social media world could be facing a major shakeup. Instagram is apparently looking to compete with Twitter through a new text-based app. Leak images appear to reveal new details about how the app would look and function, and you can tell it's pretty similar to Twitter's layout. This new app could be released as early as June. Let's bring in Leah Haberman, who got the inside scoop on what the app might look like. She's a marketing advisor and instructor at UCLA, and she's the creator of the In Case You Missed It Substack newsletter. Okay, so big scoop. How does the new text app compare with Instagram's current model? And how does it compare, I guess, most importantly, with Twitter?
With Twitter, yeah, that's a good question. So we knew that there was an app coming from Instagram, a text-based app. We had heard it, code name was P92 or Barcelona, and it was being called Instagram for Your Thoughts. This was the first look at what the app might look like based on a pitch deck that Meta was sending out to creators. And as you mentioned, it does look a little bit like Twitter. I'm not sure that it is intended to be a Twitter replacement, but I think historically we know that Facebook or Meta has looked around at what other apps are doing, whether that's stories from Snapchat or, short form video from TikTok, and has kind of borrowed or sampled that. So this is a new offering from Instagram, a text-based app, 500 characters. And as you said, it could be coming out as early as June.
I heard it's being pitched as Instagram for Your Thoughts, or something along those lines. That's the catchy phrase. And as you point out, the scuttlebutt is Meta's been reaching out to celebrities and content creators, which always seems a little odd to me because, the popularity of many of these social programs, social networks it's been organic. Like it hasn't been like, let's follow the leader.
Right.
But I guess you gotta figure out a way to generate attention. So do we know sort of who they've been reaching out to and, whether or not these content creators are going to have a role in this?
Yeah, I think the idea is that when you get on as a regular user, and again, we don't quite know everything about the app. We're going to have to wait and see when they launch. Going to be able to use it, but we do know that if you get on as a regular user and you see that your favorite celebrities, your favorite musicians, athletes, influencers and content creators are on there, it could be more attractive to come over and check it out, knowing that kind of like that's where the cool kids are, so that you won't check it out. In terms of who exactly, that's not being released. I think a lot of people have signed NDAs, but we do know it sounds like larger creators and larger celebrities or public figures are going to be the first on the app.
So what's the appeal? I mean, let's say you are on Twitter and you love Twitter, although it's hard to find people who say that they do love it. I think
even people on it
are like, oh my God, it just is something that either you have to be on because you're addicted to your device, and that's the case with a lot of people, or you're on it because you're a news media person and you're following a bunch of different people. But it often feels as if even people on Twitter are like, I really wish I wasn't here.
I know. But you got to wonder how sincere that is. Maybe it's a love to hate thing,
It probably is. So then, but what would be the appeal to move those consumers off of Twitter to this?
So that's a good question. I'm not sure that this is looking to replace Twitter for, like, as you said, diehard Twitter users who kind of begrudgingly love to hate it. I would think about it more as for people that never got into Twitter. So people that maybe Facebook, this could present a very attractive option to check out. Also brands. So we know, Twitter's had a lot of volatility and chaos in the past couple of months. And so, there have been brands that have left Twitter, NPR, for example, PBS. So this could present a very brand safe option for people who are companies that are looking for a Twitter replacement to go and join this.
But Leah, already I'm a little worried because it's like you mentioned the people that are on Facebook that want to get on social media. Well, then that means my parents the problem, the challenge is there are a lot of people on Facebook who are also on Instagram, and I'm talking about boomers, right? But they're not on Twitter. And so if you're suggesting that, hey, I am already kind of familiar with Facebook and I love Instagram because I post pictures of my cats or my grandchildren, do I want to live in that space too? Or I don't know.
It's funny because you're getting to, sorry, Vlad, but I am one of those people. Yeah, I have a Twitter account, but I actually don't tweet a lot.
She's never on Twitter. You're on Facebook.
And part of and Instagram.
Right.
And part of the reason is I am one of those people that I don't like the toxic environment on Twitter. And so it's kind of turned me off. what came to mind about this like Twitter alternative is, do I want another platform in the meta universe or the metaverse or whatever they call it? Because it's like another outlet where, you know, they have access to all this information about me, and that kind of made me uncomfortable.
I mean, you know, the big tech companies are all aiming to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
So Meta got WhatsApp, as you mentioned, Facebook, Instagram. They hadn't had a text-based option that was kind of similar to Twitter. So this is their latest offering. And I think it's part of the race that we're seeing to be all things to all people and come out with this everything app that'll be, you know, the one super app that kind of lets you do all things. So I think that's kind of moving in this direction. Who ends up using it? As you mentioned, is it boomers? Is it Gen Z? Do they see this as an outlet or an option for sharing their thoughts? That's, I think, where the public figures and the creators come in. And so depending on who they're getting and who's having these conversations that people want to join on this app, I think that's going to dictate a lot who comes over. Of course, who ends up using the app, it's always hard to tell until, you know, community culture of an app, like that kind of evolves naturally, as you said, organically.
If there isn't already a Black Mirror script, there should be. It's very Black Mirror, the app that's all things to all people. Leah Haberman, thank you very much.
Thank you.